I had never seen it before. But I was aware of it. I was 13 in 1994, and I remember just like friends of my parents talking about it, how much they liked it. I was aware of its presence, didn't know much about it, hadn't seen it before. Um, and having literally just watched it yesterday, it's like it's still really fresh in my mind. I would overall say that I was genuinely entertained and I enjoyed this movie. I was immediately aware of the 1994 like vibe, and
Mm.
like B, to your point, like whether you were seeing like how well it aged or not, I could immediately like feel its datedness. But I found that because the storytelling was good and because liked the characters and was involved in their adventure, that I just my brain kind of was like, okay, this is a 1994 film. This is this time period. This is the style that I just could kind of like accept that and roll with it. Um, I will say for me, and I always am fascinated by technical things with movies like pacing and structure and editing. That's like my main thing. I liked the second half of this film a lot better than the first. I thought the first was good, but because I didn't know like where it was headed, I thought like we're meeting these characters. It took me a while to sort of like shift to like the tonality, and then I got on board. But I felt that the second half really like went in a lot of depth more, and
Mhm.
it's and Nathan, to your point, like I really know what you mean about like the scenes of like bigotry maybe like sort of being like sanitized in the film, or like there weren't enough of them. I agree with that. I thought, though, to the movie's credit, I thought it did a good job cinematically wise, shifting between like their lighthearted discussions in like the safety bubble inside the bus to like harsh realities that they'd experience out on the road, out in the world. And I thought that jarring juxtaposition was actually pretty good, because at least the movie was trying to be like, this is where the darkness comes out of nowhere, basically.
Mhm.
Um, I was to be honest, because I'd never seen them, I was genuinely terrified in the scene when Guy Pearce like does drugs and he goes out to like the mining town by himself.
Yeah.
Because I did not know the movie. I was like, oh my god, is this like a major twist plot point? Like, will his character like survive? I didn't know what was going to happen, so I thought that there was like genuine suspense there. And although his arc was like quieter, I you saw that that sort of experience had such a profound effect on him. I'll also say that even though it seemed overwhelmingly positive, almost unrealistically so, I do like the fact that the film chose to have a young kid accepting of his father, because in the history of cinema in Hollywood, you
Yeah.
don't really see
That's nice to see.
like sons, looking up to their dads a lot. It's always like about the conflict. So the fact that they went that route, even though it felt slightly idealistic, like, man, this is so great. I was really glad that I just felt that it was really appropriate for the movie, and I
The
liked the
ending is a
ending.
breath of fresh air.
It is, yeah, and you need it.
Yeah.
Like, I just like the optimism. So, like, I'm aware of Hollywood in 1994. I know it would be very different today. Like, in terms of representation, like obviously the casting is a 1994 thing, but I accepting it as the movie of its time, I think it's a very enjoyable film. Like, it's not the deepest character depth in the world, but it's like I like the story, I like the characters, and I like the arc, and I really enjoyed it. So I would give 3.5 stars as well. It's above a three.
Yeah.
It's not a four for me, but I
Yeah.
positively like. I would recommend this movie. I liked it.